This is her first horse. Mount up there, Ruth. Oh, okay. Uh-oh, sugar. I might have known that horse wasn't trained. It was bribed. Looks like she got two little kids on her, probably Dale and Jimmy Paul. There it sits out there eating clods, dirt, snow. Strasburger's house. Back up on the hill there, Ray Peed lived up there. The one on the right is Smith's. Okay, what do we got here? We got somebody on a horse. Is that Ruth? She's worried, didn't want to get off in the mud. Look at that. I don't blame her. Here we go. What do we have here? Well, there's Ruth and Dale and Jimmy Paul. Dale McLean, Jimmy Paul Herod, Ruth McLean at that time, later Ruth Wise, and her horse. That was her first horse. There's Dale and Jimmy Paul, a horseback. Right there. Dale and Jimmy Paul. That's Dale in the front, Jimmy Paul in the back later here. There's Ruth and Jimmy Paul. Right there. Okay, there's Basil Mays and two dogs. This is would be Ruth Bogart, Ruth Mays before that, but Basil, Ruth was a widow. This was her first husband. See them Airedales that climb that ladder? Look at that. He had two good Airedales. They were good Airedales. Uh-oh, they weren't trained. They were bribed. Well, okay. You got to bribe Airedales. They're pretty hard-hitting. I don't think anybody got out of the car in the yard that they didn't want to get out. This is Ruth Mays. I've known Ruth Mays almost all my life. I remember because I played with her son Hugh. See, there's Basil playing catch with his dogs. We lived up at a place called Tiny Town. They lived in a cabin, and we lived in a cabin a little ways away. And I grew up playing. I was in the 6th grade, I think. I mean, 6 years old or 5 years old when I went there, and I played with her, or Basil and Ruth's children from that time on. I've known them all those years. Now, this is some artifacts I think is over Ruth and Basil's. I can't name those things. Things are, lanterns and things that are just collecting. Looks like a side out of an old desk. Smile, Ruth. We're still pumping water there. She's still feeding chickens. I think she pumped water for the chickens. She's some good-looking chickens. Whenever we went to see Ruth and Basil, there was always plenty of stuff to eat there. Uh-oh, there's Dale. Now that's Dennis on his little horse. No. We got Jimmy Paul. I recognize that, I think. I can't hold still there long enough, I can tell. That's Jimmy Paul. Jimmy Paul on a rocking horse. Evidently, that's probably... There he is. He's got his wagon and a ball and his little coat and his hat and his gloves. No gloves. Playing out in the mud there at Grandma's house, north of Craig. That's my Plymouth sitting there. That's Dale and Jimmy Paul.